Welcome! It's time once again for CIS Dota MEGA-LADA E-sports versus Effect here back in the quarterfinals of the StarLadder Invitational CIS Qualifiers. My name is dragondrop. I'm joined by eskillz, and well, for these kind of teams, still have a few games to play until they can meet Vega Squadron, who are already waiting in finals. And for this matchup, Effect's probably coming in as the favorites here. MEGA-LADA E-sports, though, these CIS teams that you can never really count out. Like, I distinctly remember casting the old lineup of MEGA-LADA in Katowice qualifiers. We were doing that from Berlin, and they actually beat Empire pretty handily, which was unexpected even then. So we'll see what they can pull out today.
Yeah, I mean, their names are certainly not unknown, at least for someone that's like in the scene. Maybe not so much for just casual viewers, but I certainly recognize all these names in the lineup, so they can certainly make something happen.
Yep. Interesting bands here, of course. Dark Willow, Gyrocopter, some familiar faces.
God.
Yeah. Can rant about Dark Willow all day if we wanted to, but there's also Chen and the Enchantress banned out, so these early roamers taking away these creeps from the jungle to amplify their effectiveness here. It's something that Effect does not want to deal with. The Razor ban's also less common in the first phase, I want to say.
And the reason why we see Chen and Eng is because I think one of these Storo, Massacre, or Sailor, I'm not exactly sure who, but I know one of them does play a lot of like these jungling heroes, so maybe they're banning them out because that's two of his most favorite heroes.
Yep.
10 seconds remaining.
Not 100%, but I'm pretty damn sure I recognize that.
Yep.
But they go with the Tiny. Pretty standard stuff.
Oh yeah, it still does leave a lot of other good heroes in the pool that we often see, like Naga Disruptor. We wanted to go for that, or Witch Doctor, Stanking, Tusk, like these kind of heroes.
See the Life Sealer a lot as well.
Oh yeah.
Tiny.
So Witch Doctor already like super standard, very safe, very standard pick. That has some defensive capabilities, some push sustain later on once you pick up points into Restoration, but it's all about the Maledict for the most part, just amplifying damage and ensuring these earlier kills if you have the burst to combo it up with.
Yeah, and that's actually, except for Dark Willow, it's actually the only position 5 that can actually like find solo kills on support with a nice little Cask Bounce, Maledict, and the Death Ward.
Yeah.
You know, it's Sanking. I really like this one because it can go offlane or position 4, so it's a little bit of a unknown factor there, and as well it's just a very solid stun and teamfight hero.
Yeah. Is the Elder Titan as well, another familiar face here these days. I actually like that here, just as an interruption, just a little bit of extra counterplay here that you already have against MEGA-LADA, which might well go into more teamfight centric lineup with a Sanking and Witch Doctor already picked up. So it's a good basis for any strategy like that, essentially.
Also very nice magic amp damage for Tiny.
Oh yeah.
This combination.
Magic resistance yeah, that's magic resistance reduction aura is tied to the spirit, so you can send that forward. Tiny finds somebody, blinks on him, or just Shadow Blades forward, gets that extra damage to work with. So we'll see whether that can come into play or not. But it's certainly one of these effects that's very subtle, right? You don't often talk about it, you don't often see flashy particles attached to it, but it can make a huge difference.
I mean, for the most part, you actually don't even like, you know it's there, but you have no idea how much it actually does. Like, because it's not saying, hey, this amplified your damage with this much.
Yeah, gotta do the math yourself, but who does that really?
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's a very small, or it's a very hidden thing that you don't necessarily think about, but it's so good.
Yep.
And especially when I do this Tiny or Puck or even Pugna, like, just amps your damage so much, and you can just blow up targets that otherwise wouldn't be able to blow up.
Yep. And the Viper, okay.
Yeah, I like the Life Stealer ban. I also like the MEGA-LADA didn't go for the second pick Life Stealer. They actually, like, even if you wanted against Tiny, I don't think you should pick it that early. And against an Elder Titan as well, Life Stealer looks very strong, so I do love that ban.
Radiant team
Yep.
pick.
Yeah, Viper is.
I like the Rubik as a response to Viper for more than one reason. Like, you have that magic aura, or that null field aura, defensively if you needed to, or just aggressively to just try and counteract the corrosive skin. And another way to counteract that is to just steal the nether toxin, right?
Yeah, I see more and more that people, whenever they meet tanking, they just pick up Rubik because it's such a nice stance to steal.
That too.
And then on top of that, yeah, the Viper Strike is amazing, and the Cask is like, it's 3 really good spells and somewhat easy to steal. Cask is the hardest one by far, but Viper Strike, easiest ever. Burrow Strike, not the easiest, but you'll get it a couple of times a game.
Yep. When you do, like, we've seen yesterday what Rubik can do if you steal these kind of stuns. And if you already have a Blink Dagger in particular, like last game, or last night it was the Crush from a StarLadder.
Yeah.
So Rubik was blink stunning with that before the StarLadder himself even was, because the game was going so well for him. So can definitely see that as well with the Sanking Burst Strike if Rubik gets his hands on that.
Another big thing is that I know that King R is the effect position 4 player, so he would be more inclined to play ET here. But I do hope he's gonna pick up the Rubik, because King R Rubik is a beautiful sight for the eye.
Yeah. Alright. MEGA-LADA still looking for their one position, then they can decide, hey, where do we actually want to put the Sanking?
Dire team pick.
Viper mostly being run in mid, and alright, that's an interesting strategy. A Troll Warlord coming out.
This Troll and Viper are both kind of like, they like to 5-man a lot. Although with the new Troll Battle Fury build, we might not really see that, but in the past, Troll has been a very strong 5-man hero. Just burst down towers with his ultimate,
5
and
seconds remaining.
we'll see what they do with it, but
Radiant team
You know, you see him helping out the Viper do a lot more damage than he normally does. Because he's
For
just
sure.
limited by attack speed, but if you have that extra Troll ultimates, you might be able to just right-click somebody down very easily, especially if you've already been fighting a bit, everyone's kind of low. You can make use of that that extra damage
10
from your
seconds
auto attack.
remaining.
Or the poison attack, or whatever it's
5
called.
seconds remaining.
yeah. And morphling, so the changes he's got is that he can't morph in stun, which makes him very susceptible to lineups with a lot of stuns. This lineup on MEGA-LADA, they really only have Sanking. I mean, Witch Doctor Cask, sure, but you'll always be able to react to that. So it's a pretty good morph pick, because except for the fact that, like, if you don't have a lot of stuns, he's just as OP as he was before the...
Yeah.
We all remember the morphling patch, I think. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Also, like seeing morphling these days, and like seeing people figure out what they can do with that new ultimate. We've seen it at PGL. Yeah, it was PGL. Morphling just turning into Disruptor and then glimpsing the Disruptor back.
10 seconds.
That was one of these examples of a great play, and in this game you can already see that as well. Like, you turn into Sanking maybe, or strike him and then turn back to right-click more, or even turning into the Viper to have that Nether Toxin available without the Rubik having to steal it even. So there's many different ways that can come into play if they're so inclined, right? You can still play the Morphling the old-fashioned way, just kind of farming up and buying the D-Blade, buying the shotgun.
You may now select your
yeah, I think Sanking is gonna be the prime target here for morphling. It's a really nice stun, and then you can just, if you kind of have in your head when the stun is gonna be ready, it's like 12 seconds cooldown or something, you can just morph back into Sanking and use another stun, and keep the fight going like that.
Yeah.
With the Nice Talker here, which is I mean, Nice Talker is really good against Pugna, and it's good against the Elite. Like, the silence can do a lot of work here for sure against Pugna, Morphling, and ET. Like, and even like he can bully Rubik a lot. So, I mean, they definitely have a very aggressive lineup for MEGA-LADA here. I think they want to kind of run effect over with just running in like during the night / pushing tower straight up.
Yeah.
And we see King or Rubik. Yay.
The question now becomes whether Effect can actually stop that, because Morphling, not exactly the hero that gets online super early. You have a bit of nuke to throw out once you max out that waveform, but that's really about it. And Pugna as well, like, it's it's a hero that's very susceptible to being run over if you have the control spells available.
Yeah, I think with ET and Rubik they can do some delay if MEGA-LADA is like pushing towers. But of course, the like wraparounds from Night Stalker, tanking has Blink, they have to be worried about that. But I want to point out why I think they picked this Pugna. It's of course very good against like Troll to make him not be able to hit whatever target he's focusing. But it's also a hero that, at least before the change of Viper, the hero actually wins against Viper one-on-one. Like, or you do very well. Like most heroes, they just straight up lose against Viper. But with Pugna, you can just decryptify him, or if he goes on you, you decryptify yourself, and you're like, you're not gonna take any. Like, it's a very nice hero in laning stage against Viper. You wouldn't really think it is, but it actually works really well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of factors coming into play. He also has a lot of. He also has good right-click range, so it doesn't have to get too close. Viper's gonna have a harder time just getting the attacks in the first place. So all these kind of factors coming into play to actually make that decent.
And of course, I did mention that ET and Pugna is one of the like really strong combos, and that's also one of the points why they picked it up, I think.
Yeah. Bit of an invasion here, so secure themselves a third bounty rune here. So MEGA-LADA already off to a good start, affected. Not to want to fight that at all. Level 1 Rubik, level 1 Elder Titan, level 1 Wolfling, they're not exactly the best skirmishers.
Oh, they definitely have a bump to get over here, because I think MEGA-LADA is going to be in their face.
Yeah. Straight up with the aggro try, and this is very scary, right? Burst Strike or Cast into Burst Strike, couple extra right clicks from effort, and it's gonna get even worse once that Maledict also comes online. Might even start with that, depending on who they can find here, and as a result, ILTW already making its way to the other lane, just dodging that out completely.
Getting caught up already. Oh, he got a 3-man stomp.
Yeah. Maledict taking 440 damage, so it's not gonna be enough. But already, like, he's gonna have to manage through a few extra tangos if he wants to get back up to full health.
Yep. And a little interesting thing is that they did go for the Night Stalker offlane, or well, safe lane now, so that's something that isn't too popular these days, but I would just say it just proves even further that, you know, they want to run at FX phase.
Yep.
Since they put more highlight on this Night Stalker hero, that he wants farm and whatnot.
I mean, Night Stalker 3 position, a lot of the time I'm a bit skeptical, because I don't know, it just seems like you can be more of a threat early on if you're just playing off the map. But with him being in the safe lane, oh, there's a dog, nice. With him being in the safe lane, it's much easier for him to actually get these levels that you want out of a 3 position, compared to what he would be able to get if it was just solo offlane. As Afterlife, alright, he's actually in a lot of trouble. Cask into Maledict, into Burst Strike, couple of extra right clicks and throws down the Avalanche. Will he be able to survive this one? He is fairly tanky, but one last stick from the Maledict should be enough, and that is first blood drawn by the Witch Doctor. Exactly what we were talking about in the draft. LTW still holding out much better here in this lane compared to what he would have been able to do up and top. He's actually getting last hits, and so is Alpha Ninja. Like, if you look at this middle lane, it's actually... he's not just winning it, he's demolishing the Viper. This will decrepify, extra right clicks and nukes from Nether Blast coming through, and that does a whole lot before the Corrosive Skin can really be skilled up more. Welcome back.
I have no idea what happened there with my dog, but he went crazy.
He just wanted attention.
I don't know.
I was just talking about this middle lane, and well, is this kind of the discrepancy that you would have expected?
I mean, this is a little bit worse than what I thought for the Viper, but I was even scared of saying that he's gonna win. Oh, sorry, I need to go be back 20 seconds. I just realized why he barked. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Well, can get back to that right now. He's getting some help from Storo on his Sand King, but Alpha Ninja pretty fast on his feet on his partner hero. will not really be susceptible to just straight up walk in necessarily, unless there's some sort of great slows coming through from Viper, but pre-level 6 it's not really a thing. Meanwhile, King R again camping up bottom, just doing his part to keep the Night Stalker away. And so far so good. I mean, Morphling's farming decently well. Those off an NJ, but it comes at a cost. This Troll Warlord on the other side, and especially if Afterlife dies again, he throws on the Avalanche. This time no follow-up Burst Strike, so he should be able to survive this one, especially if he starts Munch on a Tango. Or might just, yeah, there it is. Also seeing himself available straight away, bringing back up to full. He can soak more experience. Rubik. She gets going on here on the other side of the map with Sen King and the Night Stalker coming into play just as nighttime hits, so that's exactly what you want. Meanwhile, up top, okay, after Ninja with the rotation, Afterlife throws down the tree to finish the kill onto Uf here.
And now I'm back to stay.
Alright, welcome back.
Apologize.
Therefore, he got the TP out up top. Little pack no rotation, so all good there. Support will be right back. And speaking of supports, I mean, that's maybe the one point where Effect is not really doing too well. Martin still only level 2 on his Elder Titan.
So it's Rubik, but it is only 5 minutes in, so it's not the worst, but definitely something they wanna look out for.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Radiant's middle tower
Puna is doing exceptionally well mid actually. And yeah, I wanted to say, I was like afraid to even say that, hey, I think Puna is gonna win mid, because you don't win mid against Viper. That's but yeah, he's really destroying that lane right now.
The conventional wisdom will tell you anyway. LTW gone on down bottom, can start morphing strength now. And he's still alive, and does have some support. The Stomp will connect. He's bought enough time for the rest of his team to come in. They're just straight up waveforming out immediately. But didn't quite have enough power to actually get a kill in return. 2 salves here on these Radiant heroes. Keep themselves on fire after the fact. There it is, another Burst Strike, another Silence. Maybe overextended here, he cannot morph right now, but the Stomp is there to buy him some time. Stick, extra right clicks here, the burst down is tanking instead. Living life on the edge, but she's working out only just.
Yeah, very nice play there. He did have the stick, so he was kind of baiting that, I would say. And of course MEGA-LADA felt, hey, he's so low, let's try to burst him, but just barely didn't get him.
Can all try and up with a max agility, so it's super effective.
It's super effective.
It is. Afterlife J might be the next target though on mid. Ufir making a wraparound play. Does have the cask, and with a great knight right next to it. Will not actually bounce back to him until just now, but should be enough. Especially with the ultimate in from Viper. Will he take out? Yeah, he should by all rights. But turn on us there. Martin and King R made the rotation. They will not find the counter. Wow. Martin, in fact, he's gonna die instead, tanking up way too many tower shots.
Radiant's middle tower is
Well, this time the math didn't quite work out in Effect's favor.
Oh, and I mean, a couple of very nice kills there. It was, I think Pugna, like, he just got lifestream of Poolon. If he just had that 2-3 seconds earlier, he could have just lifestream Witch Doctor and perhaps lived through that Melodic, but just barely.
Yeah. Try to go again on LTW down bottom, but nothing happening there. Meanwhile up top, Ufia, he just keeps doing this. Cask into Maledict, into whatever follow-up his teammates have in that lane. Just bouncing between top and mid. And he kills left, right, and center, but speaking of kills, Martin, that's not the place where you want to be. Stands up immediately, Silas there with an ultimate. There'll be one more down the drain. 7-2. The scoreline 8 minutes in.
Yeah, MEGA-LADA is doing a great job, but I think Ufer, he's really like showcasing why this hero is so popular. Like, if you just rotate correctly, you have a little bit luck with the cask, perhaps. I mean, you can kill anywhere with a couple of points of Maledict. He's such a good hero.
Yeah. It's time in mid and J far enough away. Afterlife, he had enough of that top lane. Joining his carry in the bottom here to try and put some counter pressure up on a tier 1 tower, but it's going to be responded to as well. So Ufia hiding inside the trees while Nefer just finishes up the tier 1 top.
And Afterlife is going to die again here. I don't think he lives.
Oh, King R's there, he can throw the spell or two, but yeah, with the Melodic taken. This is just... You know, massacre here, no pun intended. It was totally intended, I lied, I'm sorry.
It was a great one, I have to say. But I mean, Aflife is struggling a lot right now, and he's giving a lot of gold to the side of MEGA-LADA with his deaths. But he just can't seem to catch a break.
So gets my seal of approval there. That was straight up Viper, like 2/3 health, just the Cripify, another blast, life drain. Double trouble as well as he also gets the tower last hit.
They actually, a very cute thing they have. They do have the Rubik Now field and the ET like aura, so they have some real magic amp.
Oh yeah.
So of course the Pugna, the Morphling with E-Blade, and the tiny like, I actually really like this lineup from Effect when you think about it like that.
Yeah.
Can be so much damage amp.
Try to do that again. King put it in gear aggressively, Storo. There's the lift, there's the Crapify, blast. Not even used, just life drain, and as a result, Storo's actually still alive. Sailor coming through. Not sure about this one. Easily killed him if he just threw down the Nether Blast.
Yeah, well, sometimes you forget something a little bit and stuff like that. It happens.
Maybe click it just out of range, but then you only click the other button because you didn't realize.
Yeah.
Like these kind of things. Unfortunate for them, but at the very least they don't give up any kills of their own with the quick TPs out. And Ufir. Alright, this time he done goofed. He's finally being punished. That's a lot of money.
And I'm sure Afterlife is very happy about seeing that him dying.
Oh yeah. So Alpha Ninja, they're really doing a good job just leveraging his good laning stage. So hitting him around, getting kills, and also getting towers, right? It's with the Nether Blast up maxed out, and another siege creep here, and also Afterlife, once you've picked up a new tree, can even join into the tower damage if necessary. This should be a dead tier 1, unless they want to turn this around. There's a smoke rotation here from Sailor and Store. The final burst strike onto Martin. So a couple of right clicks here with the Nether Strike. He should end up dropping in Massacre, looking for more of the cask. Finding After the J, no balances. Instead, they turn things around in Afterlife with a nice little Death Wood. Very short-lived revenge there, as far as the Witch Doctor is concerned.
Yeah, this game is gonna be a showdown between Ufri and Afterlife, I think. But nice couple of kills there from MEGA-LADA. Really nice for them to be, because in a lot of these cases where a lineup just goes straight up pushing a tower, like it goes kind of fast. You're gonna be like too late to smoke gank and stuff. Like you're just not gonna be there in time. But MEGA-LADA, they were like, they had a smoke on Sanky and just instantly went there with Viper and Sanky, and they were able to, yeah, not be there too late, pretty much.
Yep.
So.
Oh, not again. Afterlife is just a punching bag at this lineup right now. This time he does have some help from Alpha Ninja, but way too much damage over time, and Alpha Ninja himself might actually be in trouble here. No problems just diving the tower, throws on some spells, but the nuke is dead. Through that the Crepify. It's
MEGA-LADA really shining through here.
Yeah. Kind of goes back and forth because the fact also finds these kind of kills. I mean, they run down, stacking the top. We've seen them even just blow up the Trolled Warlord with that magic damage combo that we were talking about, and it's so odd to see this, like with both teams just almost having the same kind of momentum, except in different intervals, if that makes sense.
Pretty much. And ILTV, he did go for the Butcher Trial, by the way, so he's really gearing up to be this monster if he gets space to farm. However, Nefrit, he's going for the Bad Fury, so he does intend to keep up with him.
Yep. Then they dive, again they get a kill.
Yeah.
It's very hard for Effect to turn this around here, unless Martin is there with a Stomp. Or Afterlife perhaps with an Avalanche, but these kills, they happen so fast.
Even Ufra alone is just to show Afterlife that this is my territory.
They should finally get the tower though. 2 blasts and a couple of right clicks perhaps. Good to finish your job, and that is.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But MEGA-LADA is already somewhat set up in the mid lane, so maybe they can get this tower.
Dire structures are fortified.
It does look like Nefrid is on the troll, is going for the Battle Fury build. So, do you think that's the right decision here? Should he have gone for something more immediately team fighty?
I mean, the thing, I think why it's quite nice, because this Morph is going very greedy build.
Speaking of Morph's gonna get gone on. With the epicenter being committed, the
Nice,
silence prevents them from
nice
morphing.
life drain.
Nice little attempt there from Ninja with the life drain, but not quite enough to keep him safe through all of that. And this is a really big kill.
That's exactly what they needed. They needed to try to shut this Morphling down, because he's had a free game so far. But to get back to my point, I do think I like the Balfour this game, because he's kind of the safety net for them in this lineup. Like, if they start falling behind, if their like run at you kind of style doesn't work and Morphling starts to become a problem, they can rely on him becoming just really fat. Because Troll is amazing late game.
Yeah. Well, King Afterlife from the back. They find him again.
Dire's middle tower
So call for a call. Ufir trying to turn this around with Death Ward kind of sort of stolen Death Ward, sure, because why the hell not? He's still gonna die because there's no way to cancel it from the Witch Doctor. Oh man, and well, last Maldic tick for Afterlife will not be enough to finish him off this time. Oh man, that's hilarious to see.
has been
No
denied.
point in the Voodoo Restoration yet, so no way to stop Rubik from stealing that.
The Death Ward dance.
Yeah. Some water action, but
Yeah, it's just punches being thrown out left, right, and center, and I mean, it's just core heroes and whatnot. They're just trading kills all over the place.
really shows in graphs like there's no real, there's not been one big development, one big net worth advantage throughout this entire game. 2.5k was the biggest, or 3k in terms of experience.
It kind of feels like no one is trying to play defensive. Both are just full out aggression, and you know, you just kind of let them slip through your defense on somewhere else, but you do something offensive on the other side of the map and all of this stuff.
Yeah. Is he Afterlife in here? I mean, Massacre does have an ultimate here to work with. There was on the silence first during daytime, so it's not gonna last long at all. Unfortunate timing there for Massacre, and as a result, Ufir will end up dropping with no threat being offered. Well, at the very least, you force 4 people from effect up in the top lane.
Yeah, and now Masker knew that, so I think he wants to make a play on the bottom lane. Since he TP'd there right now. But King R does have Viper Strike though.
Sure he gets to throw it out before he is silenced.
He's
He should
fast.
still be right click down. Ooh, or maybe not. Effect! Turn this around, the Alpha Ninja. With the Crapify, the lift coming through and everything. Ooh.
That's a 40 attack slow and he still hit that fast. That was kind of surprising.
It's Night Stalker for you, isn't it?
Through that.
Alright, so Effect is fighting back. Tiny now with a Blink Dagger. Somehow Afterlife has been able to scrounge up enough money despite the 6 deaths under his belt. So that's some good initiation. You also went for the max Avalanche and Tross instead of the tree grab that we sometimes see. So you have that full burst power, especially if you have that all that amplification from this 3-man squad down here that's smoked up right now.
Yeah, this game I do like this build for sure. We can even see King R.
Oh,
He
Sailor.
keeps lifted level 1.
You are
look at that
so
damage.
dead. Oh my god.
That's a Viper, by the way.
Yeah. Normally it's 43% magic resistance, but not really enough. Ugh.
Imagine how much damage that is on someone that isn't Viper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to point
That's
out
not even the
King R.
final form. The King Owl still has 1 point up in the null field that he can put in, and Marden only 1 point up in the natural
Yeah.
order, so it's gonna get even worse.
But I really like the decision of King R to max null field here over lift. Like he leaves lift at level 1.
Yeah.
And then just runs around with this ET and wreaks havoc. But yeah, when Nature Order hits level 4, that's gonna be it's gonna be scary for MEGA-LADA.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You want to think about that. Well, so gonna have to be some BKBs at some point, or pipes or whatnot. Night Stalker is certainly going for Hood of Defiance to help them out. Now looks like Effects want to bring their full force to bear on his bottom tower. Sailor again. Dangerous territory, but Blink Dagger shown off by Storo. He finds initiation onto Rubik, but some Stolen Burst Strike. He'll be able to get the counter kill, and King he should still end up dropping, right, with the Purge, but he's gonna fight. Setting up for the rest of his team, perhaps, man. Nice little double storm with the ultimate, and they just disappear. They're just gone.
They have an outfield there.
Oh man.
Morphling on top now, though. He might be in trouble.
We started to morph. Silence, but TPing out here, so no bash, no interruption here. Void was on cooldown.
Yeah, he should have kept that Void, because he did use Waveform just as initiate, like he used it to farm, so he was stuck there, like he's not getting out, so you should just hold your point in Void and yeah, not leave it to RNGesus, which you do when you use, because yeah, Troll could bash, but
you can't bash if you stun yourself, so Morphling throwing out that spell first on the Control Warlord also certainly helping out. Eight effects. Grabbing more and more control of this game here, just with the combo coming into play. More and more, and MEGA-LADA, they've slowed down quite a bit, but it is nighttime again now, so you have the Night Stalker at full capacity.
They want to make something happen right now, because yeah, with Night Stalker this is their time to shine. And sure, Nefrid, he is sitting highest on net worth, he is doing very well for himself, but the other heroes are struggling at best.
Yeah.
But again, Eroge here, that's a nice start. Give it to Nefrid, and then he can just kind of lead the charge for the team.
Things so fast, but the fact they know about this. 3 heroes up on the high ground, the cast not gonna bounce here, man. Might still be in trouble with Deathwood being used for King R, but Afterlife is there to interrupt it. Burst down! Oof here. Witch Doctor taken out of the picture. King R still ticking. He will end up dropping, but that's a noble sacrifice, especially if they can also find Massacre. He's quite tanky with the stick charges as well. But also super fast. So maybe with a waveform forward you can find an angle for another Adaptive Strike, but through the tree is very hard to actually make work, so he's absolutely fine. And they get the Aegis, and they also get Afterlife again, so seems good.
I mean, that's nice for them. They need to keep this speed of like attacking them up during this Aegis time, because I think that, I mean, FX lineup is just stronger with all this magic camp. They have a Morphling. Even if a Troll keeps up with them, they still have a Night Stalker offlane and a Viper. Like it doesn't. It's not a very nice like heroes to go in very late game with.
Yeah. It's again, we continue with the back and forth. Good swath of momentum here. Still 2 minutes left on nighttime. Ultimate available for Night Stalker, so they can still push this even further. But Effect still grouping up here with this combo.
Ninja here.
Oh, that's not exactly what you want to start off with though. The Stomp is there to kind of interrupt things a little bit. Actually catches the Witch Doctor. It was just to create space for Alpha Ninja.
They're... I mean, so what you want to do at MEGA-LADA here is you want to make sure that you create as much pressure, because you can't go high ground against Elite Titan, like, and Tiny is gonna toss so many, like you just can't go high ground unless you get a couple of kills. So what you want to do is you want to create enough pressure on the map and like get the tier 2s and stuff at least, so that Effect doesn't feel safe. Nice little force there.
That's a bit interesting. They do interrupt the TP though. Martin up on the high ground, nestled this the Cropify. Prevent more right clicks coming through. Storo. This is very awkward. There's not 4-star in 5 seconds or so, so they might be. Okay, that also works. Right. Sure.
Yeah, he actually lives.
Oh man, MEGA-LADA trying to make that happen. More stuff up to the high ground. Kind of okay now.
Oh!
That was what? But Thor coming through, misses the burst strike actually, with the epicenter still going. Man still not quite dead just yet, and look at this power, look at this burst from Effect coming into play. Nefert's coming back from death with an Aegis, but the rest of his team, they don't have that same luxury. Massacre trying to run away up against 5 heroes from Effect. And even the creeps coming in to block a little bit more.
That Earth Splitter into Fade Bolt just killed off 2 heroes straight up.
It just disappeared.
I mean, it was the support, sure, but still, come on.
There's no hero that did less than 1,000 damage in that fight, in less than, like, how long did that fight last? Like 10 seconds at most?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it was crazy. And there was a troll there, by the way.
Yeah. And he wasn't.
Magic trick.
He also has BKB now, but didn't get a chance to pop it after the fact, because his team was already dead.
I don't know if he bought it after. I'm not sure.
Possibly.
Maybe he had it there and he just realized that, okay, this fight is lost, I'm just getting out. But yeah, like, so what happened there, even if they would have gotten that tier 2 tower, it wouldn't necessarily have been the best trade-off for MEGA-LADA, because they were wasting a lot of time trying to kill the ET and like standing around. And during all of that, Morphling was just farming away. And Morphling, he's becoming fat. And sure, Nefert is still sitting pretty at the highest net worth, but I don't think he's going to be enough this game.
A lot of that net worth is tied up in the Battle Fury, which doesn't really help you all that much in fights like that. Especially if you just get bursted down. Like, if he gets a BKB off and he actually gets on top of the target to start right-clicking, then we actually can see the power of the Troll Warlord, but it hasn't really happened this game at all. Burst Strike missile to W will be able to...
He actually had Lincolns anyway, so it didn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this BKB timing on Troll, they need to make it, like, work. Because if this BKB goes down to 5 seconds, it's back to one-shot city.
Well, what happens until then is the question.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Right now, Effect kind of hanging around to this bottom lane even, just pressuring the tier 3.
Like, even actually this game, even without, or even with the BKB, they have Rubik initiation with lift, they have tiny initiation, and then like easy follow-up damage. Like, you don't feel safe pushing straight up with this BKB at all, because you'll die. Like, it's a pretty tough situation for MEGA-LADA right now, I think. It's tougher than it looks when you look at the goal graph. Like, it's only 3k goal lead for Effect, but I think it feels a lot tougher for MEGA-LADA than that.
Yeah.
They don't really know how they're gonna, like, yeah, like, make it work for them right now.
Yeah. Especially with the vision that you have on the field, like, it's enough to tell you, alright, they're probably in our jungle or just hunting us down on the smoke and lanes right now. But you don't have necessary confirmation about where exactly Effect is waiting for you, so...
Yeah.
You certainly have to be very scared.
No E-Blade on Morph, by the way, so he's online pretty much.
Yeah. Shotgun ready and loaded. And starts throwing down even more magic damage into the mix. And yeah, Storo, look at what he's doing. He's just hiding up there. Waiting for an opportunity to script skip, I guess. Yes.
Using Night Circle, this I guess it's because it's night at 28, so just making the night last longer.
Yeah.
Is under attack.
Will not
Blink
stop the
control
C1 from going down, one would think. Blink control? Alright, I like that actually.
I like it too,
Measure.
because yeah, like, you can just, instead of being afraid of getting gone on, you go on them.
Yeah.
You know, so then at least you'll start to fight on your terms.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Also much easier to time the BKB if you're the ones initiating, right?
Yeah. 'Cause then you just, yeah, exactly. You blink in, you pop BKB, and
Dire structures are fortified.
that's that.
Alright, tier 1 top still goes down. MEGA-LADA trying to just pull them around the map a little bit. Next Roshan probably on the minds of these players too. It may respawn in 35 seconds. Oh, something to keep an eye on the pack now. Look at this. Half an inch doesn't want to be bursted down this game. Aeon Disc. Ready and running.
I kind of like that choice actually because, like Pagna, it's a pretty big staple in their team fight. Not necessarily most important. I think morphling is the important part, but I mean, if you can't burst Pugna, it's gonna be annoying for MEGA-LADA. Like they would like him to just die.
Well, they trying to get rid of the centaur. They will. Another zap there from King R. Easy money from that Helm Dominator. And okay.
Here it comes. No.
Oh, that was actually the whole doing some good work. The burst strike hits, extra slows, afterlife King R, a lot of trouble, but there's Man with the counter, with the zoning potential from the Earth Splitter. So now effect fully regrouped, and BKB is on cooldown for Nefrit.
Big one. Looked like it would be really good for MEGA-LADA.
That is afterlife. Come to bursting down that Witch Doctor this time.
They found Viper as well.
Yeah. Extra nukes, live to follow up. Yeah, for the ninja constantly sucking away, and it's a dead hero, with or without that hood. Like,
yeah,
it's just not enough.
I mean, the hoods definitely help them, as we can see. They don't blow up in thin air anymore. They kind of resisted a little bit, but
yeah,
it's just so much damage over time. So then it didn't really matter.
Oh, another nether ward even, as another burst forward into the shotgun. Okay, that's this time completely disappeared despite the full-on pipe now available for Night Stalker. Right click down the tower, and this should be the first of the racks.
MEGA-LADA knows they have no business fighting it even, like not even before the big
Oh, epicenter, burst strike. Not sure about this one. Alpha Ninja, especially with the Aeon that's coming into play, he'll be just fine. Never TP it back into the BKB, and now Martin once again with the Earth Splitter, just zoning him away. It's just so well done, and now BKB expired. He has to be very careful again. Can just be deleted off the map, and you even have 2 nether wards because LTW is returning to Pugna, I think. Oh my god.
The double.
This is ridiculous. Now afterlife. Alright, double combo. Immediately bring down the Sand King, and they're desperately trying to fight you with a Death Ward. Doing quite a bit of damage actually to the Tiny, so they do bring him down at the end. But of course, here, look at this. LTW has no fear in the world. The stomping us absolutely everybody with the stolen Death Ward. Trying to turn things around here. Not doing a ridiculous amount of damage, but enough to give MEGA-LADA pause was the concern.
Yeah, we just see that fight we saw, like, or that couple of minutes, like, even if Troll is sitting highest in net worth, like, it's so hard for him to play in these fights, and without BKB, like, you can't even play at all. You just get stunned or killed.
His timings get lower and lower. He's down to 8 seconds already. Both times he used the BKB, he just was zoned out by a well-placed Earth Splitter, so he couldn't actually chase reliably. Trying to take Martin out of the picture now, but he does have support. Alpha Ninja and King R coming through to turn things around, blowing up the Viper. Not quite immediately, but LTW will finish the job coming in from the other side, and Massacre, well, no way out of this one for himself. Ufir, well, Afterlife is ready for another blink. Up the high ground, no avalanche, but there's a toss. And they're also all so much faster than Ufir is, so make that 3 very easy kills. Make that a Roshan. And I don't know, eskillz. I don't see MEGA-LADA turning this around.
No, it is a tough one, that's for sure. And I actually don't know what they can do right now. Like, they need effect to play some very cocky Dota and like dive the tier 4s or fountain or something, because yeah, I just don't know how they can eke out a win from this point.
Aegis on Morphling, Cheese and Alpha Ninja still has freshly loaded Aeon Disc available to protect himself, and now going for the Aghanim Scepter. Pipe is also looking for that axe. Not sure if that's the kind of item that would have ever helped them in this game, but
Nullify on Troll can actually make a difference here.
yeah. He actually has to get on top of the target first. We haven't seen that at all this game, have we?
Seen what? I didn't.
We haven't seen Troll actually finding somebody and killing them in the Troll fashion, where just get on top and then right click away and bash them to death.
And the issue of that is the Decryptify from Pugna. It's the several force staffs. Even Afterlife has done some like nice toss plays. So hard.
I'll find a burst strike, instant lifter from Storo. Stolen burst strike now from Rubik, and turns this around with a blink out. He's just styling all over them right now, with a stomp hitting on a few. Earth Splitter. It's gonna zap away, and look at Night Stalker. It is Nefret. It actually finds Martin now. Alpha Ninja with the Endless Cricket, finally with a burst strike afterwards. So he's actually in trouble. Doesn't have another life drain available, and King R looking to try and sacrifice himself. Lifted up to the air by Yules, but now Afterlife and L2W joining the party again. Supports have already been taken care of for MEGA-LADA, and now it's time for the cores. They burst down Nefrit, and now it's Sylar up against 3. Controlled up by tosses and avalanches and two tosses, in fact, because it's 2 tinies, which is a thing apparently.
The Stone Brothers.
It's just they killed Afterlife. They killed Martin. All things considered, those are big accomplishments, but it's not going to be enough because those aren't even the only problems.
Yeah, I mean, the fight did look very nice for MEGA-LADA, but in the end they still lose it. So
yeah,
only so much, and still Aegis and Morph. That's an issue.
Yeah. A decent amount of time left in it, so you can go for these kind of plays without really having to worry. Turns into Night Stalker, throw on some extra nukes into more right clicks. The cast will only bounce once. Over to the proper Tiny and Storo, trying to hide himself inside the trees, but blocked by the illusions. From the Manta style from ILTW, and GG, well played, is called. MEGA-LADA Gaming. Looked pretty good in the early game, but, well, early game doesn't win you the entire game most of the time.
Well, they did show some life for sure, but just quite didn't have enough to pull this one through.
They just needed ways to actually kill towers and actually pressure objectives more effectively, because Troll Warlord is, like, again, he didn't really do anything this game because of all of these counterplay potentials. Like, he couldn't really hit heroes, and if you're one hero that has comparable net worth to the other team's carry, like he's using a 21k, whereas the rest of his team doesn't even have half of that.
Oh.
It's an issue. Right? If that hero cannot fight and win team fights for you, then what is that network really going to do?
Yeah, he had a very pretty farm, and but yeah, not enough. It's just so hard, and these 4 staffs, the Decryptify, they just kite him way too easily.
Yep. Well, Effector winning game number 1. This is the best of 3 series though, so MEGA-LADA do have another chance to turn things around and maybe find a different draft, maybe find some more pressure onto Effect. We'll see what happens in game number 2. Stay tuned.
Yeah.